Hello. Can you hear me okay? And can you see the slides? Slide.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome, Steve. Welcome, Tisha. Tisha? Yeah, I think so. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes just for other people to perhaps log on, and then we'll get started. For a small group, so I'll have you guys introduce yourselves for a bit, and then I'll introduce myself. And hopefully, you guys get something out of today. I'm going to put the international speech judging um, judges, what do they call it? Ballot. Sorry, the name escaped me there. Oh, very small group so far. We'll just wait 2 more minutes. We'll start at 12:05. How was your lunch, Edward? What did you have?
French onion soup.
Oh, okay. Homemade?
Uh,
Was it homemade?
no, it's frozen.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I've only ever had that kind of soup about 3 times in my life. Yeah. I liked it though.
Yeah.
Seconds to go. I'm waiting. I'm looking at my phone, waiting for the time to change. Oh, speaking of time, don't forget to change your clocks tomorrow night when you go to bed. It's time change weekend. There we go. 12:05. Okay, let's get started. I'm Bruce Lang. Recently got my DTM in December, the week before December, and sorry, the week before Christmas, and as I like to say, best Christmas present ever. It's 20 years in the making. I had my 19th year anniversary in Toastmasters, yeah, on November 1st, and then got my DTM on December 8th. So, long time coming. Welcome, Steve. You're the same Steve that perhaps was a District 60 International Speech Contest champion twice?
I'm trying to hide, Bruce. Why are you putting me on the spot? I've been out for a number of years.
Yes, I
But
thought so.
yes, to answer your question.
That is you. Yeah, good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And who else is oh you? Is
I
there? What was that? Sorry, somebody was saying something.
was saying less hair.
That's less hair. There you go. I've got a lot more hair. When the pandemic started, I stopped cutting my hair, and it's only been trimmed a few times, but now I'm able to put it into a long ponytail or one of those man bun things. So anyway.
Right.
So this workshop is based on or is geared towards judging for the International Speech Contest. And as I saw in some kind of posting, it's open to judges, but not only judges, but also to contestants in knowing what the judges are going to be looking out for. Now, so that's a good thing. Steve, are you competing again or
Not this year,
okay, not this year. Okay. So you're
next year.
you're giving us a break. Are you still in District 60 or are you in District 123 now?
District 60.
Oh,
But I
same.
am visiting clubs.
Yes. Okay.
I'm
Good
looking
stuff.
for an in-person. I need that feel.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Welcome, David. Nice to see you. Just getting started here. Edward, do you want to just give us maybe 30 seconds to introduce
Yeah,
yourself?
Edward Graham Dougal. I'm with the Manulife Toronto Toastmasters Club and VP membership. So I thought I'd try to learn about judging.
Perfect. Thank you. Did we know each other from Atria Toastmasters? Is that you?
No, not
No,
me.
no. Okay, there must be someone else. Another Graham then.
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned some things about Steve, but Steve, go ahead and unmute yourself and just give us a quick intro.
Okay. Thank you, Bruce. My name is Steve Beckford. I'm currently a member of Ebony Toastmaster. I've never judged before, so I figured I'd take advantage of this opportunity. Always looking for opportunities to learn and grow. So once again, thanks for putting on this session, Bruce, and I look forward to having a great one with you guys all.
Great,
Thank
thank
you.
you. I can't believe you've never judged before. That's cool. And David, please unmute. Just give us a quick intro as to who you are.
Hello. So great to see many good friends here. I saw Yuta, Bruce. Oh my goodness, so many good friends, and Bruce and Bruce. Okay, and Steve, of course, and Edward. Now, basically, like I am from Toast of CIBC. I always like enjoy learning. I think there's always good to grow and develop and learn from the experts and learn from somebody who has done this judging many times. So I'm ready to learn and grow with the group. Thank you very much for having me today.
Oh, thank you, David. Yeah, I don't know why I show up twice on the in the thing there, but that's technology is beyond me at times in that.
Yeah.
Hi, Dora Maria, do you want to unmute and just quickly introduce yourself?
Um,
Thank you. There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I am just here just to learn like everybody else.
Good stuff. Thank you. Thank you for visiting. This is my second solo workshop, and that, so hopefully I do you guys justice in that. So we're going to get started. Oh, first of all, my name is Bruce Lang. As I was mentioning just before Dora Maria showed up, I got my DTM in December. I'm in my 20th year of Toastmasters. I I don't want to say I embraced, but I kind of welcomed in a way the COVID-19 pandemic, only in the sense that it brought the word international into the organization's name. We all became, at that point, when everything went online, we could all have become uh, international Toastmasters rather than Toastmasters International. I never counted the number of clubs that I visited, but it's got to be well over 150. But I did count the countries, and I'm up to 64 countries that I have visited a club in. I belong to three clubs, two clubs in District 60, Toronto, my home club, and my advanced club. I belong to a club in Buenos Aires, Argentina, because I'm going to be moving there in 2031 at the latest. I also am an honorary member at a club in Finland that speaks English, a club in England that speaks English, and 3 clubs in California, no tariffs added. So that's kind of the joke that I say about the California clubs. They always laugh when I say that. I, for these clubs that I visit on a regular basis, I'm there to help them out. They're usually smaller clubs, and I help them out by taking on a role that they need, usually timer, but other things like speech evaluator and counter, that kind of thing. I used to belong, not so I used to belong, I used to visit 2 clubs in Ireland and 5 clubs in England. However, 4 of the clubs in England and the 2 clubs in Ireland went back to in-person only. They tried hybrid for a while, but then they said no, 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 let's go back to in person. Steve, you can definitely understand that kind of feeling. So that's cool. Okay, so this is the agenda that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the tie-breaking judges ballot, the voting judges ballot, judging criteria, judges certification, judges code of ethics, the scoring breakdown, and tips and tricks. First thing up, what I wanted to bring up is the tie-breaking judges ballot. And the reason being is because this is a very, very important one. And sometimes the details get lost on this one. As you can see in the bottom right corner, it says page 1 of 2. We'll get to page 2 eventually. But the tie-breaking judge, if you are assigned the tie-breaking judge, it is the most secret role in a contest because only the chief judge is aware of who you are. Nobody else knows. And the tie-breaking judge's ballot gets picked up by the chief judge discreetly or as to the best ability, picks that up. The 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 tie-breaking judge, sorry, the tie-breaking judge just does not attend any briefings, any online briefings, any in-person briefings that may happen prior to the contest. They may get briefed, probably get briefed via email from the chief judge directly, not included in the voting judges briefings. The tie-breaking judge is to, as do the voting judges, are to sign the ballot in the bottom left area where it says signature of judge, but also print their name in the right-hand side. The tie-breaking judge is very different from the voting judges because the tie-breaking judge has to list every single contestant in the order of the points that they gave them. So if there's 8 contestants, they have to list first through 8th. If there's 10, all 10, then they place all 10. If there's only 3, they place 3. But the whole point is that they have to list all the contestants, not just the top 3 that we're used to seeing on a voting judge's ballot. I'll get into more about the ballots later on in the tips and tricks. For the voting judges ballot, which is probably the one most of us have seen, is that there's only the 3 places that you state. Even if there's 6, 8, 10 contestants, you only list the 3, your top 3, that is, first, second, and third. Again, sign it and print your name. If the judge or when the ballot counters pick up your ballots from you, I've always been telling the ballot counters to open it up, have a brief look just to make sure it's signed. The reason being is because if they take your ballot and go to the breakout room and then they start opening up the ballots and they see that it hasn't been signed, then that ballot could be discarded and not counted. However, what I've done in the past is I've gone back out into the room to discreetly approach the judge and say, quickly sign it and that. And the only reason I knew who that judge was is because we did a take or a count on which ballots we had from the people, and then determined, oh, okay, it's this judge that didn't sign it. So sure enough, I went out and they were able to complete it for me. I didn't want them not to be counted. This is the judging criteria. It is on the back of page 2. So I'm going to re-put in the sheet here, evaluation. There we go. Yeah. So in the chat, I've posted the International Speech Contest judging ballot, and if you could open that up, or if you have one already, that's fine. Just go to page 2, and you'll see the breakdown of what's there. The content of the speech is 50%, so that's a big one. The delivery is 30%, and then language is 20%. And then each uh, scoring component is listed there with some wording about what to do, but we're going to get into that shortly. Okay, to be the eligibility to be a voting judge or a tie-breaking judge, on page 7 of the contest rulebook, the 2025-26 edition, you are ineligible to be a judge, a voting judge, tie-breaking judge, or chief judge at any level if any district at the same contest type in which they would be competing. So are a if you're going to be a contestant in an area contest or a division contest in, say, Division H. Just I know it's more than what District 60 has. I'm just using a letter, District H. But you can't, and you get asked to be a judge at another division or another area, you have to decline that because you are still competing in the international speech contest elsewhere. So you can't be both a judge and a contestant at the same contest, meaning international speech contest elsewhere in the world. To be a voting or tie-breaking judge, you must meet all eligibility of the following. At a club contest, to be a paid member, we're now into March, so hopefully, fingers crossed, all club contests have been over and done with. At the area, division, and district contest, be a paid member for a minimum of 6 months. So notice how the club contest, you don't have to be a minimum 6 months, but at the higher levels, you do. And you've completed a minimum of 6 projects in the old CC manual of the legacy program, or levels 1 and 2 of a path in pathways. That rule is also a stipulant for being a contestant in the international speech contest. And then, of course, be physically present at the contest for which you are serving, in person or online. But as we now know, everything for 2 years, everything is online. Sorry, everything is in person from the area level on up. The judge's certification of eligibility and code of ethics is a form that is required to be signed and sent to the chief judge ahead of time before the contest. You simply, let's see if I can, oh, I can, there we go. You simply put you tick the type of contest that it is, and it's fillable. You would click the international, the contest level. We're coming up to the division levels. The area contest should have been done in the month of February. So right now we'll focus on D for the division box there, and then the date of the contest, month, day, and year. The eligibility scrolls down here. This is where I got some of the part. And then let's see if I have it. Yes, and then page 2 is where you sign, you put your membership number, which is the PN dash number, and you can get that from logging into Toastmasters International, and it should be under your welcome. No, I think you have to click it. When you log in, it defaults to the welcome. I believe you need to click on the profile, and it will say what your membership number is there. And then state the district. So if you're going to be a judge in District 60, just put 60 or 123, 86, or elsewhere. And then the judge's certification form also has this section where you're supposed to put in your full name, your member number, again, the PN number, your district, and then the date, and sign it. Because judges, both contestants and judges, have a check. I can't remember what the wording is, but there's a check that you can do, or that the chief judge and the contest chair do, to make sure that you are eligible to be a contestant or a chief or a judge. Now, and that's where they use the PN membership number for. This is the scoring breakdown. I think I've broken it. Yes, I have. Okay, good. So this is the scoring breakdown of the sections. There's content, as I said, 50%, delivery 30%, and language 20%. And then within each one are the different categories, and we'll get into that. At the top of the form, you've got these 10 columns. The maximum number of contestants should be 10. You don't want to be at a contest where they have 11 or 12 contestants because that will involve you having a second sheet to go to. So it's usually 10 is the max. You just simply write their name in on the blue above the number. If there are no if there's no duplicate first names, so David and David, then it's okay to put their first name because the first and last name may not fit into there. But if there's no duplicate names, first name is completely fine. The top section is the delivery, and this is the scoring that has excellent, very good, good, and fair. Uh, My rule of thumb is never to score somebody a perfect score because you always need to leave room for the next speaker in case they're much little bit better, that kind of thing. I think I mentioned more of that in the bit. But the breakdown within the content, the big one is speech value. It's 25 of this half, 25 of 50 points. The speech development is 15 and the effectiveness is 10. With the speech development, you're looking at the structure of the speech, the organization. Is it messy? Does it have an opening and a body and a conclusion that's well defined and supporting material? That could involve perhaps they reference something and they need to quote that or who the author is or something. The effectiveness is, and there's like again, there's more details on the back of the judging form on page 2. The effectiveness is clear purpose. Uh, was it all messed up, or was it clear to you what the message was? The achievement of purpose and relevance. The achievement of purpose may have been what the what you think the contestant may have been wanting to deliver to you guys, and the relevance would be is the speech, is the content relevant to the speech title, perhaps that might be something there. Sorry, just letting someone else in. And the speech logic, the speech value, the ideas, is it perhaps an original idea? The logic, is it logical? Does it make sense? And is it an original thought? I've been to some speech contests where a contestant has redone a speech that they did at a previous contest, say last year. So and they didn't win, so they're redoing or entering the contest cycle again and redoing the speech that they did last year. To me, is that original thought? Not really. So you got to kind of think of little tidbits like that. I like it when there's an original speech, not a recycled speech. That's just my personal view anyway. Welcome, Dana. Sorry, we're just just going through I'm going to put in the chat for you the International Speech Contest ballot so you can review page 2 of it. And this was this was the first part of the scoring, which is the bigger one. There we go. The scoring for the delivery section, it's 30 points. So you've got physical, voice, and manner. For the physical, it's their appearance. Are they dressed nice? Or are they in shorts and a t-shirt? Their body language, which includes obviously gestures, hand gestures, head movements, and then the speaking area, which I refer to as floor coverage. Have they used the floor effectively with their delivery of the contents of the speech? For their voice, flexibility and volume. Did they have good pacing and pausing? The pitch, tone, volume is all stated there. That's all just little things. It's one of the easier um, ones to score, voice and the physical, those two. The manner, directness, assurance, and enthusiasm. Do they sound bored? Well, you don't want to sound bored when you're giving a speech, so that would entail or come into play with the enthusiasm scoring there. Directness. Do they? Hopefully not, because we're now, like I said, we're now into the division contest. Hopefully nobody brings up notes, but in judging a contest at the club level or even area level, I've seen people with notes or cue cards or something in their hand. Is that directness? No, because they're looking down at their notes. Not all the time, of course, but they're referencing it as a guide to move along. But hopefully, nobody has any notes with them at a division level on up. That's taken there. So 10 would be the highest, excellent. 7 to 9, and then 4 to 6, and then 0 to 3. For the language section, kind of another easier one to score. It's worth 20 points, 10 and 10 for appropriateness and the correctness. The easier one is the correctness, in my point of view. You've got grammar to think of, pronunciation, and word selection. Now, not everybody is eloquent in their English language. A lot of people have it as their second language. So the grammar may come into play there because they perhaps miss a word when they're mentioning something. So you got to keep that in mind. Pronunciation may be off for someone whose English isn't their first language. And word selection would be, is it descriptive? That would be something to think about. There's that project using descriptive language, and that could be applicable to the word selection point here. And appropriateness, is the speech appropriate to what the speech purpose was? Now, you're not going to know what the speech purpose was, but hopefully you get it from their speech title or their opening, or what they say in their opening. And the audience, I mean, you got to think about your audience. Of course, no contestant will ever realize what their audience will actually be like. But you got to think of the three rules in Toastmasters or in speeches that we don't talk about, and that's sex, religion, and politics. Keep that in mind. And for some tips and tricks, I wanted to talk about the in-person format of what it's called. I didn't know what the name of it was, so I gave it this fold over method. I don't know if anybody remembers the days pre-pandemic when everything was in person, and it was suggested that you fold over your ballot form, and from the right-hand side, basically speaker or contestant one would go into the number 10 spot and so on down to number one, which would be the 10th spot. It's so that, and the reason being is that so when you fold over your form, you're not looking at the scores of the other contestants. It can be confusing though, because of the speaker order at the top doesn't match what the actual order is. There's also the comparison method, and this is the one that I do most of the time. It's comparing scores from other contestants against the current contestant. So say you've had three contestants and the fourth contestant is up. I usually kind of hear and watch the fourth contestant be in comparison to the other three or the one before it. Because the one before it, I was judging based on the two previous, and then the second one, I was comparing it to the first one, that kind of thing. So it's just as I said, what I call it, the comparison method. A lot of people do that, so it's just, and I've heard that some judges try their best not to look at the scores of the previous speakers. It's hard to do, though. It really is hard to do. Break your own ties, because when you get that whole 1 minute after each contestant, or 2 minutes, or however time you need after the last contestant. You have to mark all your scores down, and you cannot have the same. Well, I shouldn't say you cannot have the same matching back. You can't allow for you to write in your first, second, third, or if you're the tie-breaking judge, first through the last one. You can't have a same matching total. So if there is a tie between two contestants, check your scoring details and give one 0.5 more for something that you feel was done better, and that way that breaks your tie. And as I said at the beginning, never give a perfect 100 score. I've never done it. In fact, I rarely give a perfect score for an individual category. And an easy one is the language one, the grammar one, and that I think I've only ever given a perfect score of 5, I believe, for that one twice in my life. And I've probably been a part of, it's got to be close to 150 contests, and being a judge at a lot of them. So, so never give a hundred score, or try to avoid giving early on. Try to avoid giving a perfect score in each individual category, because there's always room for improvement, and another contestant might be better than that particular one. And as I was saying, it's okay to do so in a particular category, such as correctness, voice, or physical, as that may be needed to break your tie. And tips and tricks bonus here, before getting settled into the contest room, sign and print your name on the ballot, and then fold and tear it off. And this helps with the so-called anonymous aspect of being a judge, because if you're outside of the contest room and you've torn it off and folded it over, just put it into probably hopefully a file folder that you have been given or that you're using, and just put it in there. And that way it avoids the noise of the ripping of the paper during those 1 or 2 minutes of silence after the last contestant. Because trust me, I've been sitting in there when I wasn't a judge, or when I was a judge, and I've heard the ripping, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that person's a judge. So yeah, you don't want to call yourself out to being a judge. And to recall the speeches better, I would suggest write the contestant's name or speaking order on a separate piece of paper. So bring something that's lined paper with you, so that you can write the contestant's name, first name is fine, and their speech title. The reason being is because it may help in recalling the speeches, and it may help in breaking a tie. Uh, Especially when there's a lot of contestants, say 6 through 10, you may forget what the speech title was because they just verbally got announced, but you don't have it written down anywhere. I remember when I first started judging out, I was in the top part of the ballot form where the name is vertical. I would put their name in, and then I was trying to squeeze in what the speech title was, but then with messy hand printing or handwriting, it became by the time the last contestant was, I couldn't read my own writing. So if you have a second piece of paper, hopefully a lined paper, write their name and the speech title, because as I said, it could come into play later on if you need to break a tie, to know which one was what. There we go. There's another thing that I completely forgot that I'm going to add into this is, when judging, what I prefer to do is, because I have one of those file. Do I have it handy? No, I don't have it handy. Those kind of portfolio booklet kind of thing, where it opens up from the left, and then you've got this wall of the booklet thing. I like to sit on the right-hand side of the flooring, so that nobody is to my right, so that they don't see my scoring. So that I flip the thing up, and then I'm writing down there. So because if there is somebody on my left, then they're not able to see my scoring that I'm doing. Or if you're left-handed, and then stuff. And if you're sitting on the left side, you want the file folder or booklet thing to open up this way so that you can write on this way, write on that. The varying degrees of opinions as to where to sit in the audience. Some judges like to sit up front. That's fine, but it clearly becomes visible to the contestant that there's somebody in the front row. They're writing notes down and they've got this booklet that's open up. And that's a couple of major clues there that you're the judge. So I would avoid the front row. Going to the back is risky, although it is kind of one of the components of the judging, the voice, the volume. If you're sitting in the back, contestants need to know that they need to project their voice to cover the full room. There may be times when they go quiet and they whisper and talk softly. Is that going to be heard in the back end of the seating area? Don't know. So you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to that. I personally have never sat at the back, so I'm usually near the front or in the middle. And as I said, my booklet opens up this way, so I like to be on the right side of the audience. But it doesn't. It can be fine if you're on the left side. So keep that in mind. Not the first row, not the back, but somewhere near the front or in the middle would be great. So. And in closing, hey, I always say this, and no matter what I do, if you learned even just one new thing, then my goal has been achieved. Judging is simply another evaluation using numbers, not words, and it's one's personal opinion. Some may agree, and others not so much. It's I've been, like I said, I've been to many, many contests, and when I hear the results afterwards, I think to myself, oh wow, I guess they didn't see or hear what I heard and saw. That's just something that comes into the brain when you start thinking when you hear the differences. Being a judge, you have to start somewhere, and usually at the club level is the best place to start for all. I remember at my home club years ago, and this is probably 2008 or 7, I was asked to be a judge at a sister club's club contest. It was in person, and I remember going to one of my mentors in the club and said, "Well, I can't judge." I said, "I've never done it before." And he said exactly what I'm saying now. You got to start somewhere. And the easiest place, as I said, to start is at a club contest. So I went and I was fine at it. I happened to pick the top three. And ever since then, I've been pretty good at picking choosing the outcomes. Being one at the area level on up, as I mentioned earlier in the slides, you have to have the level 2 requirement in pathways, or have completed a minimum 6 speeches from the old competent communicator manual from the old legacy program pre-pathways. And just want to mention best of luck to you all in your judging journey, and may the best contestant win to go on and represent the next level. I'm going to stop sharing and let's see if I have any questions here. Oh, Yolanda, I didn't see it. Yolanda just came in. Yolanda, you just got here.
I did.
Yeah, and I literally just finished.
Oh, you finished? Oh, that's fine because it's fine.
Oh, okay. You've judged before though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can stick around because there's still, I just got to the point of asking people questions. So, does anybody have any questions for me based on what you saw or heard me fumble over?
I just had a clarification
Yep.
question. Some of the rules, and this lands more on chief judge, but what if somebody completed their level 2 the day of the contest?
Interesting. I would say yes. I don't know if other people are going to say this because in a way, because the chief judge will go online to do the check. I can't remember what it's called. Integrity check, I think is what. and stuff. So they would notice that the person doesn't have a level two. But if they can somehow prove that they did it prior to the actual contest happening, and maybe get confirmation from their club's VP education or something, get sent,
Hmm.
get it emailed over to the chief judge, that may be acceptable. I know
Okay.
that if I was chief judge, I would allow it just because it's been done before the actual contest happens.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion, but it may not be that of the others. That's a good one.
All right.
Is that something that is actually happening?
Um, just people don't do their due diligence, right? And then
Yeah.
they unfortunately come in and then so I've seen that happen, and then I've seen where someone gets disqualified at the district level. And so I'm like, this is crazy. So that's why I'm asking questions now to
Okay.
be more proactive. But
Yeah. There we go.
yeah, some people don't do their, and it ends up being the work of the club first because
Yeah.
that's where the person started. Then the next one is the area, and then that's the area director, right? Like they should have made sure that those contestants were viable because they, in
Yeah.
essence, become the co-chair to that contest if they don't have a contest chair.
Yeah, the,
So
the the scapegoat, and I think I've seen that happen where somebody has gone from the club up to the division, and the area director didn't notice or didn't check that the thing.
yeah.
And this is a good point to mention out to everybody here. When you complete a project in Path, or sorry, when you complete a Path project, go to base camp that day, the next day at the latest. And mark your project complete so that the VP of Education will see it and get it approved. And that's so
Yeah.
any club officer can approve a speech level,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
the actual email goes to the VP of Ed because the VP Ed is basically the main person to do that. But if the VP Ed is away on vacation, then the uh, the member needs to let, say, the president. President would probably be the next best person to go in and log it. That's so
All right, awesome. Well,
good,
thank you
good,
so
good
much.
question. You're welcome.
I am virtual for this training, but all of our contests are in person.
Yep.
And I did move to the West Coast, so
Okay.
I unfortunately am not able to volunteer in your district that I realized it was in Toronto.
No worries.
So I was like, oh, I guess not. But I appreciate just the way you laid out the information and just made it very simple. So
Thank you. And yes, I have email addresses for people. So what I'm going to do is send you my PDF file, or yeah, I'll save it as a PDF and send it over to you guys afterwards. And you're a past district director?
yeah, I've
Nice.
been chief judge, all the things. I
Yeah.
just sometimes it's good to listen because I tell you that TI, they change things in every page, even if it's like one line, just to keep us on our
Mhm.
toes.
Yeah.
So it's always good to,
Look out for those diamonds that are off to the left side. That's when changes are. And
yeah,
I'm the District 60 newsletter proofreader for 8 years in a row. And
okay.
whenever I review the contest rule book every year,
Hmm.
I look at something and I laugh and I shake my head and I said, they still haven't fixed that. They still haven't fixed that. It's, anyway.
All right. Well, thanks.
Thank you, Dora. Thank you for that. Anyone else have any questions? If not, I can give you back 15 minutes or so. But if nobody wants to, that's fine. And so Yolanda, as I mentioned, I will send you guys the PDF file of this so that you guys can have a more decent look at it afterwards. Okay.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Excellent job, Bruce. It
Thank
was
you, Steve.
thorough, easy to understand, very clear and concise. So appreciate that when trainings are of that magnitude. So great job.
Oh,
Great
thank you.
job.
Thank you, Steve. And that's it. I will give you back now. Well, it's coming up to 12:45. So I'll give you back 15 minutes of your time. Enjoy the rest and have a good rest of the day and an even better weekend. Okay? Ciao, guys.
Ciao, and you too. Bye.
Thank you. I'll just stay on until the last one goes.